Hello, I'm Bert Bronius, and this presentation is about relational theories and practices for teaching and learning. The presentation will help group members grow in their knowledge of one another and ability to function as an effective group. Included are two theories and a variety of representative discussion activities. The theories are the Johri Window and the Tuckman Model, which I'll explain on the next slides. The discussion activities build on them, so they follow the general progression of the two theories, beginning with questions and activities for group members who are new to one another, and then moving the group toward mature relationships and performance. We'll begin with the Johri Window. The window is an approach used to help group members better understand themselves and each other. This theory suggests that there are four areas of our lives that influence our relationships with others: the open area or arena, the blind spot area, the hidden area or facade, and the unknown area. So to say a little more about each of the four areas, the open area or arena, that has to do with attitudes and behaviors of which we ourselves are aware that are also known to others. The blind spot area, those are things about us, about ourselves, that are known to others but not seen in us by ourselves. They see it in us, we don't. The hidden area, or the facade, is characteristics of ourselves that are known to us, but are not known to other group members. That is, things we're keeping to ourselves. And the unknown area covers aspects of who we are that are not known to ourselves or understood by ourselves, and they are not known to others as well. So the application of this is that group trust and performance improves as group members learn more about themselves and others. Therefore, in discussions, as we reveal ourselves and trust the groups, we'll find out more about ourselves, and others will share of themselves, and we'll find out more about them, and they will find out more about themselves. There you have it, the Johri Window. The next theory that's been helpful in being involved with small groups for me is the Tuckman theory, sometimes called the Tuckman and Jensen theory. Tuckman's model describes a process of group relational and functional development. The theory states that it is normal for healthy groups to go through 5 stages. And here are the stages: forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. And we'll say a little bit more about each of those stages. And as I'm doing that, think about groups you've been a part of and the way in which they have progressed. Forming is when a group first meets. It's getting acquainted and identifying why they're meeting and how they're going to function. As the group goes on, storming normally occurs, which is recognizing and adjusting to one another, our unique personalities and perspectives. As we make those adjustments, we start getting on with the purpose of our group, and that is called norming, which normally involves working together cohesively. And as that happens, the group functions at its probable highest level, which is called performing. All groups must come to an end, and that's the adjourning process, and that is where there is a closure and a celebration of our time together and our success. So the application of this is that if leaders and group members are aware of these 5 stages, they can be helped to function with improved interaction, satisfaction, and productivity. Now, these methods are both associated with discussion, activities, and disclosure. So I'm going to share with you several different kinds of discussion methods or relational activities. The discussion activities that follow are based on stages of development that are in the Johri window and Tuckman's theory. They begin with questions and activities for group members who are new to one another and progress toward mature relationships and performance, and then end with a process of self-disclosure. So next are these methods and activities that I will touch on briefly. The forming or open area is time when individuals get to know each other. Sentence completions can be helpful for that, simply going around the group and saying things like, I'm from, I work at, here's what I do in my free time, here's how I spend weekends. Another activity that could be done in regard to forming is sharing of names and interests, where people can be encouraged to talk about, to make notes on family, hobby, special interest, the times that they spend with others and how they do that. Then they can be asked to feedback to each other what they have heard. The next level is the storming and norming, and some hidden things come out as well. And activities and questions that help with that are on this list of 4 items, and it is doing things like asking individuals to share or to list some of the things that they hope the group might be able to do, and to be as specific as possible in doing that, or to name 3 things that you hope to gain as a result of being involved in the group, to say what you think the group should have a right to expect of one another, and to talk about skills and abilities that individuals are willing to contribute to the group. You can see how there's more of personal and sometimes hidden things that will come out in this kind of discussion. Another one that would relate to this would be to discuss what kind of person we each are by talking about things. Are we closed or open? Are we more of a talker or a listener, a doer or a hearer, creative or traditional? Do you prefer to do things or gain knowledge? Are you more of a giver or taker? And some individuals may be willing to contribute and get to know each other's personality through an activity like this. Next comes the performing aspect when the group is functioning. Activities that help during this stage are sharing more of oneself, like share a high point or a low point in your life during this past week and tell why. Or here's a personal one. If you were to die tonight, what would people remember about you? What would you want people to forget about you? Number 3, who made the biggest positive influence in your life? All of these things bring into the discussion more about individuals, who they are, how they relate, what's important to them, and that can help the group function more effectively together. Finally, we come to the fact that groups usually come to an end, and it is good to bring a fitting closure to a group so that individuals can summarize what has been accomplished or what their feelings are, or leave the group with a healthy relationship with one another. So adjourning type questions can be asked here. And these are, is there anything that needs to be resolved, discussed, dealt with, or expressed before our time together is over? And things like, what feelings do you want to express as the group is winding up? Or how have you grown as a person while in the group? And another way of dealing with this same thing would be to, if it's a larger group, to break up into groups of 2 or 3 and give opportunity to individuals to talk either one-on-one or in groups of 2 or 3 and say personally to each other. It was nice when you said, I was surprised to hear you talk about one time I noticed, or I would enjoy talking with you more about the following topic. So that brings us to a brief overview. This presentation has explored the dynamics involved in group growth and development. The Johri Window and the Tuckman Model were used to illustrate the importance of self-disclosure and group relational maturity. Questions and activities were provided as vehicles. They're only representative questions. You could form your own, but vehicles for prompting healthy understanding, acceptance, adjustment, and performance. Following on the next slide are recommended resources for building on the information that was presented, as well as references to sources that were used. But the real challenge remains with you to use these questions and use these activities with a group to make a difference so that individuals can function in better relationship with one another. So here are some resources. I like the Serendipity Bible because it has discussion questions built into the margin of the Bible. It's very good for working with groups, and the other works that are here are Building Community and Youth Groups by Rydberg and Blanchard's book on building high performance groups. And here are some references from which some of these materials are gathered.